Good morning. Welcome to the April Primary Focus live stream. Thanks for joining me this morning. I hope that you are having a wonderful springtime. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it's just been, it's still a little cold, but like blue skies, the flowers are up. I feel like it's such a dream around here where I am. If you are watching this live stream for the first time, I am Natalie, the founder of Primary Focus, the Parent's Guide to Elementary School. Primary Focus is a place for parents to learn how to support their kids in school so that they thrive. We want children to value education. We want them to do well in school. But I found when I was a teacher that very often it felt like the information that I knew about supporting kids ages 5 and up was kind of being gatekept in universities and teacher education programs and things like that. And a lot of the times the questions I was being asked were things that I knew second nature because I had been to school for it, I was living it, I was teaching it every day, but parents don't always get the same access to that information. So that's where Primary Focus was born, a place where you can learn that perspective of a teacher and what we are thinking, what we know from our profession, so that you can actually help your kid so that they thrive in school. I am so glad that you are here today. I'm going to be doing some Q&A. Now, I reached out to subscribers beforehand asking for questions, so I've got some prepared, but I really love to answer these on the fly. So if you're watching this morning and you feel like you've got a question, there's something in your mind, oh my gosh, you've been meaning to find the answer to this, please pop into the chat and let me know what you are thinking, and I'll let you know right here. Working directly with parents and caretakers is what I love to do. And this is a great way to see exactly what your child needs. So you can find Primary Focus on YouTube here, of course. If you are not subscribed already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And in my weekly newsletter, where I come to you every Tuesday and share tips from the perspective of a teacher and answer other questions that I get from people. I love my newsletter. And then finally on Instagram as well, you can find me at primaryfocus_. If you type in Primary Focus, you will find it. Again, any questions you have, please put them in the chat box. I am here to help, here to answer your questions. And then as well, if I say something that moves you today, you can always buy me a coffee. I'll put the link here as a way to say thank you. All right, so before I really dive into my first question, I want to know, where are you tuning in from and what are you drinking this morning? Like I said, I am here in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is my second cup of tea. It's only 10 a.m., but this is a sort of spicy herbal tea with a little bit of honey. It's called Bengal spice. So that is what I'm sipping on today. And let me know in the chat where you're coming from and what you are drinking. Okay, you should also know I also have a glass of water. This is not a Stanley, this is a Bubba cup that my class bought me, I think in like 2017. So I was an early adopter to the movement. But if you know me, I always have a lot of drinks. All right. Ooh, we've got some espresso going on. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I know espresso drinkers can get very, very serious about that. So cheers to you this morning. All right. So my first question, and actually there was a theme with the questions that came in this morning. So we're going to be talking about preparing for kindergarten. My first question is, my child is entering kindergarten in the fall and is quite advanced. I'm worried she will be bored in school. We've got a cold brew as well in the chat. Cheers. I think I've got some coffee drinkers with me this morning. So entering kindergarten, we're advanced, worried she will be bored. I think this is a great question. And something I really want to address here is that kindergarten teachers are ready for children of all experiences, all, what am I saying here? They're ready for anything. What's interesting is in the United States, kindergarten is the first year of school. It's not technically mandated. You don't have to enroll your child in school until they're 6 years old. So if you really wanted to wait until first grade, you could do it. But the level is so low because we don't have universal preschool. There's no expectation that your child has even left their home in those first 5 years of life. And so we get the entire gamut. We have kids that have been in like Montessori preschool since they were 2 years old, and they're essentially, a 35-year-old in a 5-year-old's body, and they're very high functioning and advanced and things like that. We get kids that just moved to this country a few weeks ago and they don't speak a lick of English. We get kids that, they're pretty good socially. Maybe they've got a lot of brothers and sisters, or they're involved in sports, or they're going to a daycare where they're functioning with other kids. And so they're highly functioning socially, emotionally, but their academics aren't there. The impact was not made academically, and vice versa as well. We get kids that have really never left their home before, but my goodness, they are spelling and reading and writing. And kindergarten teachers know that they are going to get this entire spread of kids, no matter what kind of school it is. Every family really has an individual approach to how their child is being cared for before they start kindergarten. So if your child is advanced in school, what I would do is let the teacher know within the first 2 weeks. You don't have to do it the first time that you meet, but maybe send an email and just say, hey, I wanted to let you know this is maybe what we were working on before school and kind of before kindergarten. Maybe explain the preschool that they went to, or these are the academic books that you're reading, or things that you've seen the child do independently. And explain that you realize your child is advanced academically, and you wanted to let them know, and that you're, here to support and hope, and you're concerned that the child will be bored in school. I wouldn't put it like that. You're concerned they'll be bored in school, but that they're advanced, and you want to keep moving them along so that they're moving on to the next things academically. What this is going to do is it's going to give your teacher a little bit of a boost to look twice at your child. Your teacher will realize that your child is advanced, but it might take longer, right? Your teacher is going to be working with your child one-on-one, giving them tests and things, but the beginning of kindergarten, it's a lot of getting to know you type stuff. It takes a while to truly get into the deep academic content. So if you give them that hint, it's going to help them realize let me look twice at this child. Let me work with them a little bit just to see what we're working with and what they can do and what they can't do, and move from there. If you don't do this, it might take them really 2 months to kind of start to put the pieces together, because a lot of children in those first weeks of kindergarten, they don't present always as intelligent as they are, because they're so overwhelmed with what's going on and the new rules and the new procedures, and you have to fill out the worksheet this specific way, that they might not show the teacher that, oh no, I knew the answer to every single question on this thing before you even finish reading the first word problem. So just give them that boost, and that helps them. And then what I would say too is kindergarten, in terms of being bored, teachers, they will start working towards the middle, and as they learn their class, they will adjust to kids that need something a little extra, and they will adjust to kids that need a little bit of remediation and extra support. There's a lot of small groups working in kindergarten. There's a lot of one-on-one time in kindergarten as well, because you cannot lecture to these children, right? It's not like when you're in high school and there were just 40 of you sitting in class taking notes. No. You're working in small groups all day long. It's not very often, maybe except for story time, where the whole class is truly together. So there's a lot of what we call differentiation, where the teacher can find other kids on a similar level as yours and kind of meet in a group and hit them with exactly what they need and meet them where they're at. So, and in terms of the boredom, I would say that kindergarten is pretty exciting because there are so many new rules and routines and things. So even if there are going to be assignments that are a little easy for your child from time to time, they are going to be so stimulated, so excited, so focused on new things that I wouldn't be too concerned about them feeling super bored, just because there's a lot going on. Well, I hope that answers your question. Let me know if you're watching right now or catching the replay. You can always leave a comment and we can talk about this more. And one thing I wanted to share here before we move into the new question is a success for Primary Focus. And that is that I am probably, as we're doing this live stream, going to hit 4,800 subscribers on Primary Focus. I'm really proud of that. And it makes me happy that we're building this community here, kind of like this great big family of people. My goal, my hope is that in April I hit 5,000 subscribers. And I love that because this channel, it took me so long to reach 1,000 subscribers. I only reached 1,000 subscribers at the very beginning of July. I think it was like the week of the 4th of July that I hit 1,000. And now here I am in the first week of April, almost about to hit 5,000. So things have been growing so much recently. And I just want to thank you. It's things like showing up to this live stream and asking questions and sharing my videos with friends, commenting, liking on things that help this community grow. My mission is to support parents, to help their children value education, and it's you. So thank you for that. I really, really, really appreciate you continuing to show up for me. And I see there's several people watching with me right now. Good morning to you if you've just joined. This is my live stream. I do this once a month. Ahead of time, I asked for questions from people just so I can plan out, but I love questions on the fly. So if there's something that you are wondering, you need a little bit of advice from a teacher, please jump into the chat box, ask a question about what is going on. Let's dive into question number 2. And I told you the theme is kindergarten. My child is entering kindergarten this fall, and I'm worried they are behind. What can I do to prepare? I loved getting these 2 questions, and they literally came in back to back. These are both newsletter subscribers who asked them. And I said in my newsletter, I'm doing the live stream this weekend. And when I sent it out Tuesday, literally that afternoon, I got these emails 2 in a row. My child's starting kindergarten and I'm just worried. One's a little high, one maybe needs a little bit of academic support. And I just think that's such an equalizer because all families that are starting kindergarten in the fall are a little bit worried. There's so much to think about. I know a lot of schools are wrapping up enrollment right now, or at least really pushing for enrollment. There's so much to think about, so much to do to prepare. And I hope you seeing that, gosh darn that thumbs up sign. I need to get that turned off. I hope that this shows you that everybody is a little worried and has something on their mind, and that kindergarten teachers are truly ready to meet your child where they are and have them soar in kindergarten, no matter what is going on or what isn't going on with your family. So let's talk about a child is maybe a little bit behind. How can we prepare? First of all, like I said, the bar for entry, especially academically, is pretty low in kindergarten. We just can't expect anything because there's nothing saying that they've come from another grade. This is grade 0. So don't worry too much. But what I do want to say is that there are some real essentials that are going to help your child. So I'm going to run through a list here. To the person that asked this question, just maybe mentally check this off in your head and kind of think, okay, what can my child do or not do from here? In terms of the basics, can your child say their first and last name and maybe what grade they're in? So I'm Natalie Parmenter, I'm in kindergarten. That's amazing. Kindergartners get lost in the hallway all the time. They don't know the building. They're confused. If an adult at the school walks up to them and says, "Hey, honey, what's your name? What grade are you in?" They can get them down to the right hallway to sort them out and get them to class. So that's going to be a really big thing. I see some hearts coming in about that. Can they write their first name? I'm not going to say last name here. I don't think that's fair. Some of us have last names like Smith, 5 letters. I think you can get that done. Some of you have last names like mine, Parmenter, which has a lot more letters than Smith. But first name, being able to write that, it's okay if they write their name in all caps. The kindergarten teacher will work on that. It's okay if their handwriting isn't perfect or it's jumbo. the teacher will work on that. But can they write their name? Can they get their name? And then recognize their name is important too. They're going to be walking into an environment where there's going to be things labeled with all the kids' names. Can they find the cubby that says their name on it? That's going to be amazing. Let's talk about counting. If they can count to 20, that's amazing. If they can recognize numbers to 20, also awesome. They don't need to be able to write numbers to 20, but if they can, it's a bonus. In kindergarten, you're working all the way up to 100. So the more that they got, the easier onboarding we're going to have. At least write numbers 1 to 10, okay? Minimum, that's going to be a huge thing. The alphabet. There are 26 letters, lowercase, uppercase. If they have a good handle on like 50%, maybe 2/3 of those letters. And what I mean by that is they know the name of the letter, they know the sound. Some letters make multiple sounds. The main sound of it, okay? A says ah, G says g, that kind of thing. 50% to 2/3, your child's going to be a good place. If they know the whole alphabet, that's awesome. The more they know, the better. Reading, no expectation your child can read. I feel like everybody knows one 4-year-old that can read, and it causes a panic amongst everybody else. There is no expectation your child begins kindergarten reading. So please, if somebody's told you that, if somebody's made you feel that way, get that out of your mind. The kindergarten teacher will spend all year preparing your child to be able to read. Now, if your child can read, awesome. Kudos to them, but there's no expectation of that. Same thing with addition and subtraction. If they know a little bit, that's fine, but that is a huge thing that we work on in kindergarten, so it is okay. But what I would say is, can your child compare numbers like more and less? So within 10, 0 to 10, do they know 5 is bigger than 2? Do they know 7 is bigger than 4? And they don't have to say that off their head. Can they look at 2 quantities? Maybe you've got like 2 piles of Legos going on. Can they compare those things? So those are the kinds of things that we're looking for. And then really it's sustaining a little bit of attention and being able to answer questions with their point of view. So what I would say for that is, if your child has not gone to preschool, if they're not going to daycare, are there opportunities in the next 6 months here before kindergarten starts? I guess less than 6 months, my goodness. Where you can get them into like maybe a day camp. Can you get them into some extracurriculars, like a karate class or something? Anywhere where they're going to be like huddled up and they have to listen to instructions from a teacher is going to be a really important experience for them. So that is, but what I would also do too, one more thing is, as school is starting, reach out to the teacher and communicate what your child is like, what they've been through, your concerns about them. And it doesn't have to be long. I actually have on my website 4 email templates. Let me get this. It's a free download. And I think any parent should use this. These are sample email templates of what an email to the teacher should look like. And it will show you, some of them are copy paste. And then even if it doesn't apply to your problem, what this does is it will show you like, here's the 5 sentences you send, how to say it simply, concisely, and how to ask the question at the end. A lot of parents unintentionally send incredibly long-winded emails that are like paragraphs and paragraphs long. Teacher would love to read it. They don't have time to read it. They're going to scan it. So these templates show you how to kind of get that most bang for your buck when you're doing your reading. When you're emailing a teacher. Okay. So that is question number 2. What do you have? Mike. Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my husband just came up. I might have to end the live stream. This looks good. My husband just came up with like I think this is chocolate. Like a chocolate. I don't think this is technically a croissant, maybe a filled croissant. Wow, okay. This smells so good. It just smells like really nice chocolate. Yum. I'm very happy. Send some hearts or something in the chat to Mike. I'm sending him some 100s and a little party. Okay. I've got one more question in the live stream. Unless anyone wants to ask something, I'm happy to ask to answer your questions. But I wanted to let you know a little bit about life lately with me. The first is we have been gifted some incredible music in the last few weeks. I've been listening to the new Ariana Grande album and, of course, the new Beyonce album quite a bit. Let me know if you are listening to any of that. I feel like we are in a new season with music right now. Our summer's greatest hits are starting to get released, and I really love that. I think 2024 is going to be a great year for music. We did okay in 2023, actually. Lots of hits, but I think we're seeing a lot of new artists and we're seeing a lot of like established artists releasing new music. So that makes me happy. I'm definitely a pop girly when it comes to the music. And then something else going on with Primary Focus this weekend into early next week, you can expect a lot of fun Eclipse content. So here in North America, we have a total solar eclipse happening Monday afternoon. I am excited for this, and I'm actually going to be able to see the eclipse. My husband, who brought me my wonderful croissant, oh, is it an eclipse? Oh my God. It's an eclipse croissant? Is that what this is? Kind of. Anyway, he loves space and phenomenons like this. I appreciate and enjoy it, but he like truly is interested and knows a lot more than I do. So we had been getting really excited to see the eclipse. I'm going to be seeing the eclipse with my grandmother, who's 94 years old. And she has never seen one before, and I think that's just going to be really special to watch it together. So you can look forward to some funny content coming out this weekend, and then a vlog about the eclipse experience as well. So keep an eye out on my YouTube for that. And also, if you're not following me on Instagram at Primary Focus. And let's see, what else do I have on my notes? Yeah, that's kind of life lately, and I've been getting my garden going. I'm hoping my vegetable garden will be big and happy this year. So one more question that I have. I'm homeschooling my child in first grade. Writing is a struggle, and he is way behind in it. How can I encourage writing? Okay, first of all, if you are homeschooling, that's amazing. Homeschooling is so difficult to keep up with. I definitely get a lot of families that are in homeschooling reaching out asking for academic help, or if their child is stuck on something, like just what I would do as a teacher to move them on to the next level. You know what? I taught for 10 years. I would go back in the classroom tomorrow, with hesitation just because of political issues. But I would go back in the classroom tomorrow. I don't know if I could homeschool because it's so much more than just academic content, which is very difficult. But it's also this relationship with your child and maintaining a lot of different boundaries with them. So kudos to our homeschooling families. I want you to know writing is a struggle for all kids. Nobody is a natural at writing. Anyone who is a natural at writing, and this is even at the adult level, has had the privilege and the practice of lots of writing and lots of patience from people who have taught them, who have encouraged them, who have critiqued them. So anyone who is a great writer, I don't believe there's such thing as being a natural at it at all. But it starts at this young age. So it is also one of the only subjects, I think, that like you can continuously get better at it over time. I would equate writing to almost being a musician, in the sense that there are so many styles and approaches to it, so many ways that you can change it, so many opinions within it. It's very subjective, a very subjective subject. So I just want you to know that and hold that. What I would say with writing is you need to build in a daily practice. Daily, 5 days a week, but like several days in a row with a little break. But when I taught writing, for example, in my class, I didn't have time to teach writing in writing block every single day. So I'd usually do 3 days a week, and I would do 3 days in a row. Social studies, science, you can do those every other day. When it comes to writing, it needs to be in a row, because for one thing, if they're working on a project or a specific topic, it's in their mind. You don't want them to forget it. But like there are so many lessons and small things to do. So just a daily writing practice would be amazing. I'm going to drop a link in here. This is to my video about making a family journal. I love a family journal because a lot of times children have to learn something or analyze something and then be asked to write about it. And while that process is important, that's how we learn to write letters, that's how we learn to write responses to things, it is very exhausting on children, because you don't even get to the writing until you've had to consume another piece of content and analyze it, or consume a whole nother lesson on what something would look like, when all we're trying to talk about right now is can you just write a sentence? Can you just write me something? A family journal is going to be a really great way to make a low pressure environment for your child to write. So that video I highly recommend. And what's fun about that is you get a journal and everyone in the family is contributing to it. So there's a really nice accountability piece, and just like kind of a feel good thing. And I think if you're homeschooling, a family journal will be a lot easier to keep up with, because you can build it into like your daily practice with your child. What I would also say with the writing, in addition to making it daily, is let your child write about what they want to write about. Yes, there are going to be times where it's like, honey, I need you to write about this specific thing. But the more they can have happy experiences, authentic experiences writing about what they want to write about, the better. So right now, actually, one of the children that I am tutoring really is into reptiles and is trying to convince her parents to get a reptile. And she's basically started writing a book as she learns more information about reptiles to convince her parents that she needs a lizard. So, and her mom and I were laughing on the phone about this, but she's writing and she's excited about it. And that's what you need for your child. So if they're like really into a specific video game or a specific animal or something, just have them start keeping like a nonfiction book about this or records of what they're doing, so it feels natural to write things down. If your child's in first grade and you're telling me they're behind in writing, the expectation at the end of kindergarten is that your child can write 3 sentences independently. The spelling doesn't have to be perfect. Inventive spelling is appropriate in kindergarten, first grade, because they don't know how to spell a lot of words yet. So if they're being inventive, totally fine. But the basics should be right. Words like the, words like cat, words like, kind of those really common sight words or words that are very simple to sound out. So 3 sentences. By the end of first grade, we're getting into that paragraph. They might not have a specific opening and closing sentence. In second grade, they tend to get more into the like structure of things. I think a lot of kids can handle it. But 5 sentences in first grade, the more, the better. And yeah, what I would say with writing is just pick your battles. Like if today your objective is to get them to have a period at the end of their sentence, don't worry too much about the spelling. Spelling can happen during the editing process. Spelling can happen another day when you have something else to focus on. But if you focus on every single element of writing, what you're going to end up doing is micromanaging your child, and you're going to be upset, they're going to be upset, and everyone's going to end frustrated. So pick your battles and just kind of decide in your head, like, what are we working on? And you don't have to correct your child as they write. What I like to do is I like to maybe set a timer and like, I'll say like, here's the topic. A lot of times they need to talk about it. So maybe set a timer and or at least kind of watch the clock in your head and be like, okay, like, what do you want to write about? What are you thinking? And then when they're ready, set a timer, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just kind of depending on what they're writing about and their attention span. Give them free writing time. And then after that, that's when you can go in and edit. Usually I don't even pick the battle unless I have a specific lesson until I see what they've written about. So for example, I was tutoring the other day and I did this exact thing, the talk about it, write about it, and then we worked together to edit it. He wrote a really awesome thing. Most of the spelling was good. A few things were all over the place, but what it was a giant run-on sentence. And I said, all right, we're going to go in and we're going to talk about like where to put a period in. And that is what we focused on. And it took us about 10 minutes to break it apart and do that. But he was so proud because the only thing he really had to erase was the word and then we added a period and capitalized the first word. I didn't destroy it. Yes, I could have really gone in about the spelling. I could have gone in about his handwriting and stuff, but nope. I picked one thing and we really stuck on it. All right. Well, this is your last chance. If you have any questions this morning, What I would really encourage you to do when we're done is if you could like this live stream, if you could leave a comment in the main section, just say, hey, thanks, or nice to see you. It doesn't have to be anything profound. That just helps bring a little bit of attention to this live stream. I really want to thank you for watching with me live this morning. It means a lot. Like I said, I think we're going to hit 5,000 subscribers here in April, and the community that is being built within Primary Focus means a lot to me, and a lot of it is you continuing to show up and support this channel. Just going to send a few links to you real quick. The first is a reminder about those 4 easy emails to send to the teacher. This is just an awesome template to have on hand. Some of the things it covers are your child got hurt in class or in trouble. You don't know what to do. Your child is having an academic concern. You're not really sure how to help them. Here's how you say it. Just those really common issues that you might need. It's like Mad Libs. You just like throw in your kid's name, fill in a couple of blanks, email it off to the teacher. I highly recommend that download. The next thing is if you would like to leave me a thank you today, my Buy Me a Coffee tip jar is here. I really appreciate it. And then the last is I work one-on-one with people. So if maybe you're sitting here, you've got a question, you don't want to put your kid's business out on YouTube. I totally get that. Privacy is so important. Maybe you've got an issue and it's a lot longer than just a simple question in the chat. I do one-on-one consultations with families. So if you want to sign up and get personal time with me, get an answer to your question, let's do that. Let's get started. You can email me hello@primaryfocus.tv. I would love to work directly with you today to help your child thrive in school. Well, I've got a donut to eat now, so I have to go. But thank you for joining me today. I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful springtime. If you get to see the eclipse, please let me know how it went. And that's all for today. My name's Natalie. This is Primary Focus. I'll see you next time.